I love this guy's videos. They're so good. Everybody should follow him. He's the best person who makes like narrations for videos. Yeah, that's what I love about the game. There's so many different complications. It's crazy.
Sacrifice your body and soul as fuel for the first flame, which keeps the gods in power. We'll call this the light ending. Your other choice is letting the flame die out, allowing you to become the Dark Lord and ushering in the
Isn't
Age
that
of Man.
poetic? You get to
Let's
choose
call this the
between
Dark
light
Ending.
and darkness.
Now, this
You
video
really get
assumes
to
you have
just
some idea of what's going on in
honestly
the Dark
choose what
Souls
kind of person
universe.
you are.
If you'd like
Chaotic
to follow the
good,
Dark Souls lore
neutral,
in any video
evil,
you could watch, or you could
lawful.
brush up on the fundamentals presented by Epic Namebro. To properly understand the endings, you must understand what makes them significant. In the beginning, the four Lord Souls were found within the first flame. Gwyn obtained the Light Soul and ushered in an Age of Fire based around that first flame. This Age of Fire meant that the gods and the lords were in control of the world, ruling over humanity. They lit bonfires from the first flame and shepherded the humans. But where did the humans come from? Well, it's my theory
Yeah,
that
that's the
humanity
biggest
is
question.
spawned from the fragments of the Dark Soul. As humanity split and grew and
Because all
split
of a
and
sudden
grew,
a little
the dark
spark just
began
came
to
out of
overcome
nowhere,
the light.
and he harnessed this
This
one
concept of
spark to create the
disparity plays
most
a huge role in the
amazing
game.
civilization in the
As the
world.
first flame faded, the light faded, and as the light faded, the power of Gwyn and the Age of Fire faded. As the gods started to lose their power, they began to recognize the threat that humanity could pose. It seems the gods couldn't decide what to make of humanity. In the dialogues of Kiaran and Goff, we see some of this uncertainty. If you aid them, they decide that humans aren't so bad after all.
Oh,
But if
that's
you slight
nice.
them,
I
then they
think
treat
humans
you
are
with that
nice.
built-up resentment.
So this is true human nature.
Oh, that's nice. So you convince him the
The flame
humans are
continues
good.
to fade.
That's amazing.
The gods abandon Anor Londo, and the remaining gods use illusions to preserve their power. Gwyn, holder of the Light Soul, goes to the kiln of the first flame and offers himself as fuel. He sacrifices himself to let the flame burn a little longer. This buys the gods a bit more time to find a solution to their problem. You are that solution. By linking
Yeah,
the
that's
fire,
so crazy
become
that
the
you have to
fuel for the first
sacrifice
flame.
yourself
With you
in
in
order
Gwyn's
to
place, the Age of
keep
Fire will
humanity
continue.
going.
But what makes
I
you
don't
so
know
special?
if I would do
Well,
that.
characters
What
are
would you
very
guys do?
powerful undead if they can make it all the way to Gwyn, and it follows that the more
Would you be
powerful
able
you
to
are,
like
the
burn
longer
yourself
you
to
will burn.
keep civilization
It
going
could
for
be
another
that this
100
is why
years?
Frampt is trying to push
Even
undead
when it's
towards
this
Gwyn.
dark and
He's
depressing,
trying to find the one who will
and there's
burn
so
the
much
longest.
evil and corruption happening around you?
So by burning in Gwyn's place, you have to ask yourself what purpose it serves. You're preserving the reign of the gods and rising to the needs of a dying hierarchy. It's not even a temporary solution. Gwyn was powerful enough to take out the immortal dragons, and even he became a husk by the end. So while you could see linking the flame as a selfless act, it's hard to imagine that you're doing it for any greater purpose. Indeed, if you link the flame, you are rising to the needs of people who could simply be using you.
Yeah,
So,
that's kind of
is
the
this
thing,
good
right?
ending?
Because
At first glance, it
if you
seems
burn
like it.
yourself, you're just
Most players go through
continuing the
pain only meeting
monarchy
the
of
serpent
those who
Frampt,
started
who
this.
promises that
And like the
linking
world they
flame will
created is
undo
kind
the
of
curse
fucked
of the
up.
undead. He talks of fate and gives you purpose. So at first, I thought this was the right thing to do. I didn't know that Anor Londo and Guinevere were illusions. I didn't know I was being used, and I thought I was being selfless.
Wait, they're
Then I heard
illusions?
what
So they're
Karth
not
had
even
to say.
real?
He says that after the advent of fire, the ancient lords found 3 souls, but your progenitor found the dark soul, and waited for fire to subside. He says that with the fading flame comes the age of man. He paints Gwyn as a god who resisted the course of nature, and says that you are being manipulated by Frampt to keep Gwyn's age of fire going.
Oh, that's so annoying.
By
I
killing
didn't
Gwyn
know
and
that.
walking away from the first flame, Karth promises that the dark will finally come, and with it, the age of man will begin. At first, I thought that Karth's hidden dialogue was the truth. It makes sense. When you realize that Frampt is manipulating you, you feel like you should believe everything Karth has to say. It seems like Karth is telling the whole truth. But is he telling the whole truth? Is the darkness really a place where humans can thrive? Humans are born from the dark
Yeah,
soul.
that's a good
that
question.
much is true. The Black Humanity sprite is proof of that.
But
But
were
when we
humans
journey
happy
back
when
to see
everything
what
was
happened in
dark, though?
Ulyssil,
That's the
we
question.
realize how dangerous the dark is to humans.
Yeah.
Ulyssil was once a human city.
If you take the
overrun
humans
by
back to the
dark.
darkness,
These are
then you're
its
kind of
residents, and
bringing
this
them
is
back
the
to a
fate
more
of the
primitive
humans who come
state.
into
Is that the
contact
best
with
way
the
of
dark.
doing things?
This is the age of man that Karth promises. One serpent tells you lies, and the other tells you truth. Both of them are manipulating you. If you link the fire, you are
This poor
sacrificing
guy
yourself
getting
so that
manipulated
Flame
every which
Gwendolyn
way.
can rule with the
Sucks.
illusion of power in Anor Londo. If you let the flame fade, the Age of Dark will come. But is this a place where humans thrive? No. Woolasville is proof of that. In the end, it doesn't matter what you do. If you link the flame, you're just delaying the inevitable. If you let the flame fade, the darkness comes a little sooner, with you at the helm. The one canon ending to Dark Souls is in the prologue. One day the flame will fade, and only dark will remain. So instead of choosing an ending, just go and live with
So it's inevitable, then the darkness will be consumed at some point. That's really cool. So you have no choice. No matter what decision you make, at the end, something else will happen. The darkness will consume you. You can continue civilization to thrive based on the monarchy that was built by the kings just for like another 100 years, and then hopefully another soul comes and does the same thing. But it's kind of shitty because, like, as you're doing it, right, it's like, what happens? Like, you're just continuing this continuous cycle that doesn't really go anywhere. So kind of sussy, kind of sucks. Like, no matter what you do, you're still a pawn, right? And if you choose not to burn the flame, then you bring civilization back to like a more primitive state before the fire was ever alive.